Hey guys, God, this always happens. I blank out every time because I didn't do my intro, but I'm not gonna do my intro for this. I want to make this video. I'm gonna be clarifying a few things. The main topic of this video is I'm quitting YouTube. I'm no longer interested. Just like I said in my post, I no longer have the passion for making content that I used to. And what that means is I love my YouTube channel. I've been making YouTube videos for 9 years. This has been my hobby for so long, it became a part of me. I can never be anything more than grateful for all of the friends that I've met, for all of the things that I went through, all of the fun content that I got to make. I can't understate. I love this channel. I love the content that I've made. I've been doing this since I was just a stupid kid. Oh, my Elden Ring did the thing. I'm gonna unpin it from my taskbar real quick. Sorry. And what I mean by little kid, I was just 18 when I started making my YouTube videos in 2016. The tail end, the last quarter of 2016. I am so different from where I was then to where I am now. Now, I have been going back and forth, like I said in my last video, or not in my last video, but in my post. I've been considering this for a very long time. This is not a spur of the moment decision that I've come to randomly. I've been flip flopping back and forth on quitting making YouTube for a very long time. And it shows because I have such massive gaps in my content. You can tell that there were times, even when I was having fun, that I just didn't want to be there on camera anymore. It was not the same. And it all started exactly where you think it started. In 2020, when I had my massive falling out with Mania. Now, stuff like that was the catalyst for me losing my passion, not only because I went through a massive spiraling depression that completely emotionally destroyed me, but I lost friends over this. I lost connections that I'd had for years at that point over this. I've had to burn bridges with people that I've never recovered from. It was single-handedly the worst time of my life. And it ultimately led me to become suicidal at the time. Like, I was that low at that point in my life. And I'll explain why I have the DMs open with her again for this video. I did not show them on camera last time because it had private information that I did not want to put on camera. I said in the middle of the video I wish I had been screen recording. In hindsight, I'm so fucking glad I didn't do that because there was a lot more private information that I forgot was even there. And these DMs are important because this is the first time in 6 years that I've had the strength to sit here and go through everything over again. Everything previous to my closure video, I had been going based off of memory. Going through the DMs physically for the first time was incredibly painful, but it pretty much put the final nail in the coffin for my channel as well, because it's made me realize that I just don't, I I just can't do it anymore. I no longer have, not only do I no longer have the mindset to be making content anymore, I'm not the same as I was anymore. Not just physically or emotionally, but fundamentally, psychologically. I can't get into it anymore. I can't put on the persona that I used to be all the time. I don't have the passion to sit here and make a video every day anymore, or even once a week anymore. I just can't do it. And it sucks. It really sucks because I love this channel so much. It's extremely important to me. It's been such a massive portion of my life. My entire adult life is pretty much cataloged on this channel up until this point. From the time I was just a stupid 18-year-old kid dropping out of college, all the way up until now, where I'm gonna be 28 in fucking 6 months. I'm almost 30. It's such a massive portion of my life, and almost all of it was put on this channel. Just bits and pieces of my life sprinkled along this channel while I was going about doing the rest of my life. It's such a strange archive of how I've grown as a human being, of how much different I used to be now, how I used to think. And we're gonna pivot over to these DMs now, because they're very important. And the reason why they're very important is because when I went reading through these DMs again for the very first time, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago now? I was destroyed. Like, it completely fucking destroyed me all over again. I had to stop midway through just before the falling out because I was just so emotionally distraught. I almost couldn't even handle it. So I had to stop. I had to take a break. But then going forward from that point onward, it really put everything into perspective with me. How absolutely fucked up this whole situation was. Because I'm going to preface this very heavily right here before I get into this. I did not handle this situation well at all. I completely fumbled my side of this situation entirely. And there is nothing that I could ever say or do that would justify how badly I crashed out after our friendship was ended by her. However, I am going to tell you exactly, like, the truth. This is the truth. It's all right here in black and white. And this section of the DMs really showcases where my headspace was at, what my intentions were for writing Mystic Hills with her. And it also flies entirely in the face of all of the absolutely flagrant and obvious lies that she's just told about me and our situation for years. It just completely flies in the face of everything that she's tried to convince everybody of about me for years. And the reason why I'm going to this section specifically is because this was almost at the point where we were finished with Season 3. We were nearly done with Season 3. This was the final stretch of writing for us. We were almost finished in March of 2019. And it started out with a joke. It started out with a joke. Yeah, I was talking about the ending because the ending wasn't finished yet. Oh, God. Excuse me. The ending wasn't finished, and I said. And I had to remind her that we were going to write the epilogue together. And then she pointed out that she kind of wanted to write the epilogue by herself. Good God. That she wanted to write the epilogue by herself. And then I made a joke. You're just going to get stuck. And then she's like, no faith. And I referenced back to the beginning when we were in the middle of season 2 and she had no idea what to do. Like you were when you started writing it. It's not that I don't have faith, it's that I know you. She says, even though she gets stuck on how to write episodes. I speak only truth, and you love me. You can't hate me. And for right now, she said she can. Not even if you tried. Besides, after Mystic Hills is over, you're going back to writing solo. What that spells out in plain English is that I was done writing for her after Mystic Hills. We were no longer going to be a team on Mystic Hills. And she agreed with me. Like, she knew this was the plan. I'd already spoken to her about this in calls. Then you don't have to deal with my inputs anymore, is what I said. And the way she says this, sometimes I like your inputs. Other times, not so much. And I followed it up with this. This is a pure encapsulation of how I was feeling at this time. All of my inputs are constructive, not judgmental. You get in such a huff when I question ideas. It gets frustrating to work with you sometimes. I like working with you on stories, don't get me wrong, but still. I can be an ass, but I just want to help. And that encapsulates the entire Mystic Hills era of my life. That encapsulates the entire 3 years right there. All I wanted to do was help. I saw my friend blow up and reach levels of success that we only dreamed of. The only thing on my mind in that point wasn't to gain anything from it because I was friends with her. It was to help her achieve more success. I wanted her to succeed. Why? Because she was my friend and I wanted her to have that success. And then we were talking about me working all the time. That entirely encapsulates my mindset at the time. And this is, I actually forgot this was here. This is where I threw out another idea. Like, this is something that I did regularly. I, because we were talking about Skydust, because that was something at the time too. That was originally why I suggested you just make Adrian an Easter egg kind of a character that only appears briefly. And she agreed with me, but she also in this moment tried to take credit for that. And it was just us fucking making jokes. But that's all I wanted to pull from the Mania DMs. I'm not going to show any more of those on screen. I'm never going to address the situation ever again after this, because I have the thing that I'm working on Remembrance in my off time. I'm like 12 pages deep. 11, 12 pages deep at this point since announcing it, and I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with what I'm doing with this, with the original ideas that we worked on together. And it's something that I need to do to move past this. I'm sure there are people who will disagree with my choice to go back and revisit the original stuff. But the reason why it's important is because of how connected I am to the original stuff. The original stuff wouldn't have happened without me, without my input, without my ideas, without my writing. It never would have happened. There's no universe where season 2 would have happened without me. It just wouldn't have happened because she had no idea what to do. She was completely stumped. And what happened was, originally it was just me throwing ideas out, literally throwing things at the wall, seeing what stuck. And then I decided to take matters into my own hands, and I wrote up an entire separate document of like 10 plus pages for the direction that Mystic Hills was going to take for the rest of the show. I took it incredibly seriously because it was her show. It was her success on the line. And like I said, with all of the flagrant lies that she spread about me, or that she'd spoken of about me, not only in her public video, but also privately and in her Discord server, the original Discord server. We're not talking about the new one. The things that she said about me to clear her name lies in the idea that we were never really that close. And our DMs just completely dismantle that idea. I was the only person that really challenged her on any level in terms of... That's probably not the right way to put it. I was the only person on the team that was there to keep her grounded. Everyone else was there because they were a fan. Everyone else was there after her success. Everyone else was there because they were going to gain something from it. I had been there since before she ever blew up. She didn't blow up until well after 2018 was on its way. I could probably find that. Because it's also under Mystic Hills. It was also stuff that we talked about related to Mystic Hills. It's in the old stuff. I got 71 subs now. Mystic Hills has 40 views. And she was genuinely excited. Like, this was before we started working on it together. This is April of 2018. This is just after her first episode came out. Like 5 days. 5 days after her episode came out. And she did nothing but work on Mystic Hills all the way through. Because then we jump to here, and she's editing episode 11. And we're in July. And then this was when she announced that she had more subscribers than Tom did. And Tom was our streamer friend who we met through because we were part of the same community. Tom, Legit Dinosaur, I think he just goes by Legit now. Fucking awesome guy. I wish nothing but the best for him. We parted on shaky terms because to give him some credit, I was not the easiest person to just talk to. Not then and not now. I'm a strong flavor, and I'm not gonna say otherwise, and I'm not gonna deny otherwise. Like, it's not easy to just have casual conversation with me all the time. Because my problem is that I retread a lot of things over and over again before I finally move on after like a couple of weeks. And that definitely shows in a lot of the rapid fire vlogs that I used to spit out all the time. Because there was a period in time, what was it, earlier this year and last year, where I was just doing nothing but making vlogs rather than actually making content. And it was just because I was just in this headspace of I need to talk. All I can do is talk. It's a problem. It's a problem that I haven't had as badly for a while. Because literally just a month ago, I was talking about how I'd rather be nowhere but here making content. That was before I went through these DMs again, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. This was me talking about how she's almost at 10,000 subs. Which was towards the end of season 1. I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of these. Close that. We're done with that for now. I said we weren't gonna go back to that, and we did, but we're not gonna talk about it anymore. So I was there. I was the only person among the team who was there to keep her grounded. Who was there simply because I wanted her to succeed, not because that I wanted to gain something from her success, not that I only wanted to be a part of the team because she was a big YouTuber by our standards at the time, not because that I stood to like gain clout capital from it. I was literally only there because she was my friend and I wanted to help her. There is no universe There's no way on God's green earth she would have gotten out of me what she got out of me if we hadn't been friends. There's just no way. You'd have to have put a gun to my head. I bought her a fucking laptop. I bought Chris's computer. I wrote her fucking show. I acquiesced to her request to be Adrian, which is another point. She wanted me to be Adrian. That was never something that I suggested. We're gonna go back to the DMs again. I'm just lying all over the place about the DMs, aren't I? In terms of we're done with them. No, we're not done with them. We're done with them. No, we're not. No, we're not done with them. Oh no. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. Oh god, this is the Oh god, this was me workshopping the idea. It's in here somewhere, I swear. Maybe I'm not looking for the right thing. When I decide to get voice actors, you're one of the first ones I'm going to ask. And that was me talking about how I've always wanted to be in some sort of voice acting thing, but I've never really had an opportunity for anything. And I didn't really react when she said that because this was long before season 2 was planned for anything. I need to stop. I need to stop. Otherwise, I'm going to be here forever. But she was the one who decided that I was going to be Adrian. It was her final decision. I never decided anything. And that was how it worked. It was always her final decision. There was no coercion. There was no manipulation of any kind there. And my mic was shittier then than it is now. This mic is way better. Mike was talking to me about it, and he was like, "Yeah, your microphone is way better now than it was back then. So you could probably do way better voice stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right. I just don't know if I'm comfortable doing any of that yet." And that is something that I'm going to be exploring now that I'm no longer going to be doing YouTube. Like I said, Darksiders 2, the video for Darksiders 2 is the last video I will ever upload to this channel. and then I will make a goodbye video. And then that will be the end. That will be the end of this channel. I don't know when the Darksiders 2 video is coming out. I'm roughly more than halfway through the game at this point. I literally just did a session for today. It was like an hour or so long. You're about to get a behind-the-scenes look of what I have done for it so far. I don't remember what this is. I'm just going to delete it. But I have hours of footage here. That's 3 hours. That's 40 minutes. That's 17 minutes. It probably crashed, and I had to fix it. That's an hour. That's 2 hours. That's an hour and 23 minutes. And that's an hour and 8 minutes. I just did this one today. And I'll edit it, and I'll put it all together. I'll edit it, and I'll do everything I can with it. Whoops, that was the sea cleaner option that my recycle bin still has on it. I don't know why that is. I haven't had sea cleaner installed on this PC in like 4 years. I don't know. I think a lot of the reasons why she came to resent me so strongly was because I was the only one who would challenge her ego, who would step in when things got a little too out of hand. And she hated it. She hated that. Like, that conversation that I told you about was literally me just softly checking her ego. Like, it wasn't super... I don't think it was intentional at the time, but it was very much checking her ego. Like, I'm not here to judge. You don't like when I challenge your ideas. You don't like when I offer my inputs sometimes, and it makes it really hard to work with you. And I'm not going to lie, that was probably the moment that our friendship started to fracture. And it was entirely unbeknownst to me because it was something that she was thinking of privately. And things only got worse after my visit to her. I literally flew out for 2 weeks to go visit her. I met her family, I met her friends, everything. For 2 weeks. I was there for 2 weeks. And then it was just a complete downhill trend of how close we used to be, because she was actively distancing herself from me, and I had no idea why. I was afraid to confront her on it because I was afraid that that was going to be it. And then I realized somewhere along the way that, like, after Mystic Hills, I don't even know if we'll be friends anymore. That was a thought that started coming into my head towards the end of 2019. Because it started feeling more transactional to our friendship than it was like a product of it. Like, it was just expected of me to be helping her with Mystic Hills at that point. And then everything happened in February of the following year, and I crashed out. I fucking went nuts. I went on some extremely schizo behavior because I had no idea how to cope with it. I had no idea how to handle the situation. I didn't handle it well. I fumbled everything on my end. And if there's anyone who comes to the who has recounted that story and who is told of all the things that happened after the falling out, I can't blame them for coming to the conclusion that I was a horrible person. I can't blame them for that. Nor do I. Like, it's nobody's fault other than mine. I mishandled everything on my end of the situation. And Mystic Hills Origins only made things worse. And it was absolutely an ego hit that I desperately needed to take because I was coping. I was coping hard and trying to justify everything to myself to make it seem like it just wasn't what it was. And what it was a complete betrayal of not only our friendship, but everything that made us friends to begin with. But it was also a complete betrayal of to who I thought she was. The whole situation completely decimated and assassinated her character of who I thought she was at the time. And the only explanation that I have at this point now that I've settled on, that I've come to terms with, is that I just meant absolutely nothing to her at some point. At some point, she decided to completely throw out our entire friendship and decide that I just wasn't worth keeping around. And it was just something that I don't know how you do that. How do you exist that way? Excuse me. I don't know how you exist that way. How do you make lasting connections with a mindset like that? I don't understand. I I don't know. I don't know. And that call in 2023, the final call that I ever had with this person in 2023, where is it? It's in here. No, that's my right here. This right here. The full 2-hour call. This was the final call that I ever had with this person. Ever. I have it on file. I have it archived. It's right here. I just. And this call was just full of deflections, full of manipulation, full of gaslighting. There's a line in this call that royally pisses me off. And we were on the topic of what do we want to go, where do we want to go from here? And I brought up the suggestion, why can't we all just go back to being friends again? Why? Tell me why. And the only reason she gave, the instant reason she defaulted to, first of all, she said an immediate, no, I don't think we can. I have too much trauma with this situation. Just saying it out loud. That line pissed me off so much. You have trauma. I'm sorry. You have trauma over this situation. You, who initiated this situation, who instigated this situation, who caused us to be here, whose consequences of her actions led everything to kick off. You have trauma over the situation. You, who decided to lie about our friendship. You, who decided to completely throw out our entire history. You have trauma over this situation. It was that point in that call, I gave up. I was just done. If I ever release this call, you'll see me just fall back in my chair and be like, that's it. Okay. Just lied to my face again. And that was the moment that I realized, like, there's no hope for this person. There's no hope of us ever reconciling, of ever having closure on this situation, because she has just a complete inability to understand that she caused this. She's the reason we are at this point. It is her actions that have led to the consequences of years of animosity and combativeness between us. It is her deliberate choice to completely obfuscate how close we were and how much I trusted her. And that's why I'll always refer to this to the biggest stab wound in my back. Because she did. She stabbed me in the back. She threw me under the bus. Just for her reputation. And she's done nothing with it ever since. Ever since she's been on this, she reached her peak within the next year or 2 years of this happening. And it's been a constant downward trend for her ever since. Yes, she has a 60K YouTube channel. Congratulations to her. Why isn't she at 100K? She's been doing this for 8 years. Why isn't she at 100K? It's because she doesn't upload. It's because she doesn't finish her role plays. It's because she can't write anything of substance. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you. Ultimately, she gained nothing from throwing me under the bus. She did it for no other reason than to save her own reputation. For her own ego. I don't know. I don't know. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but it's completely deserved. When someone who is this selfish, who is this self-centered, throws someone who was nothing but selfless, and I'm talking about me here, I was completely selfless. I was completely dedicated to her work, to her show. I gave everything that I had possible to give at this point. My time, my energy, my sleep schedule, my talent, my ideas, my writing, my blood, my sweat, my tears, like my secrets, my personal life, my emotional states, everything. This woman knew who I was. Deep down, fundamentally, she knew who I was. And we connected on such a level that I've never seen her connect with anyone else on. Ever again. Never. And I get it. There's a reason why you don't make friends on YouTube. We didn't become friends through YouTube. We became friends through mutual friends. And we connected deeper with each other than any of our mutual friends. With one exception, I would say, and that would be Lindsay. Lindsay and I were extremely close. Like, we fought all the time, but that was just because we were the same brand of stubborn. I will never understand. I will never accept anything less from her other than, yes, I threw you away for nothing. Because that's exactly what happened. That's the reality. I threw away our friendship because I preferred having my community over having someone I could trust. Over someone who would stand by me through literally everything. even before I was popular, even before my channel exploded, even before Mystic Hills exploded. I will never accept anything less from her. There's no apology she can give. There's no justification. There's no lie she can tell that will ever, ever mend the bridge, because she's torched, nuked, and salted the earth with this bridge. And it all started with stabbing me in the back over nothing. Now, after all this, do I want her channel to fail? Do I want her to implode and fucking destroy her YouTube career? No, I don't want that. I've never wanted that. I never wanted to ruin her. I never wanted to be in this position. I never wanted to hate her. But I do. I do hate her. But even with how much I hate her, how I will never forgive her for how she treated me and how she continues to treat other people with the same brand of dishonesty, manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional the as much as all of that, I still don't want her to implode on herself. I don't want to watch her end up like every other Minecraft YouTuber on the planet and just implode her own career over something stupid because she decided to be stupid. I want her to make a comeback. I want her to realize that she fucked up and that she needs to be better. I want her to succeed again. I don't want her to go through these massive hardships that she's going through. But I would also be lying if I said she didn't bring it on herself. It's no one's fault that she's not pulling the views that she's not pulling the views that she used to, but her own. It's her own fault. And if you want my brutally honest take, I think she hates it. I think she hates making the content. And that's why she just doesn't do it as often as possible. I think deep down, she resents it. I think somewhere in her deepest, darkest depths, she does regret what she did. But I also wouldn't believe her if she admitted it. Because her pattern of obfuscation, of manipulation, of lies, it's too much to look around. It's too much to look through. You can't look over it. You can't be like, oh, well, that's in the past. It's over. No, it's a pattern of behavior that's followed her up until today. It's not stopped. It never stopped with me. It moved on to other people. When I wasn't her problem, it was somebody else. I don't know. I still owe everybody from the original cast, including Ish. I'm going to say Ish, because as much as I don't like Ish, that doesn't justify me treating her like trash. I also don't hold a grudge against anyone who continues to associate with her. If you're going out there to make connections, to build your name up and get more experience in like voice acting or writing or any of this other stuff, and being associated with her helps, I'm not going to hold that against you. I don't care if you're friends with her. I don't care if you're close with her, if you work with her. If you're out to get that bag, go get that bag. Unless you're Chris. And Chris, you're a lying scumbag who's strung her along this entire fucking time just so that you're the most important person in the cast, preying on her issues to secure yourself a check. The AFMAO job offer lie is one of the worst examples because it's one of the biggest lies you've ever told, and you still stand by it to this day. You've never shown proof of it until I see a DM between you and AFMAO talking about these things. It never happened. It doesn't matter. It honestly just doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's been so long. It's been almost 6 years. Think about that. In February, it'll be 6 years that this shit has been going on. Four months until it's 6 years of this ongoing bullshit. And all because we couldn't just sit down and figure it out like we'd done every single time before when we'd gotten into an argument, when we'd had a disagreement. We would sit down and we would figure it out. But no, not this one time. Not this time. When you've got 7 other people in your ear, not just they're too persuasive. Never trust the one guy who's been there since the beginning, who's trusted you implicitly, who's selflessly given you as much as he possibly can give to sustain your career, to make sure that you succeed, even if it means that he doesn't. It was ridiculous. But of course, it wouldn't have happened any other way because we were just stupid kids. We were stupid. None of us were equipped to handle a situation like that. I was turning 22 that year. I was 21. And obviously I had my own stuff going on, but that was never an excuse. I never used it as an excuse. I just... I don't know. Like I said, Paul reached out to me recently. He's back. He's going through some tough times. And Paul is the most major example of saying that I don't hold it against anyone who still tries to be friends with her. His fucking channel is still on her front page, even though he's told me personally that they don't really talk much anymore, even though they were supposed to be doing a bunch of content together. And I've learned that Ish's big falling out with Mania was resolved some way, somehow. I don't know what happened. I don't care what happened, really. So I don't understand why I was such the big exception at the time. I don't know why you can go through all of this and not reconsider or ever consider that you were the one who fucked everything up, who chose the wrong course of action. But it's too late. It's years too late. Even after the initial betrayal, it was too late. There was no fixing this. Because to do something like this, you have to completely overlook our entire history. To stab me in the back and throw me under the bus like she did. It has to be purposeful. You have to have done it on purpose. There's no way you did it by accident. There's no way you just got upset and decided to make a rash decision. You have to have purposely set aside the years of history that we'd had at that point and thrown it away. Pretended it never happened. And that's our fundamental difference. And never once, I'd like to point out this obvious lie that she's told for years, that this has been entirely about Mystic Hills. It was never about Mystic Hills. It was never about Mystic Hills. It was about how she treated me. Like I was disposable garbage. After everything I had done, that's what it was about. And to obfuscate and to lie and to say that it was all over a Minecraft roleplay is fucking bullshit. It was always about our friendship. It was always about our history together. It was never once about the fucking roleplay. That still pisses me off. But if that's the route that she wants to go, then fine. I'll make it about Mystic Hills. I'm writing books. The whole reason I started writing my books in the first place was because of Mystic Hills. And the worst part is, it has almost an entire degree of separation, not only genre-wise, but also maturity-wise, with how my books are being written. My books are a dark fantasy, and I mean really dark fantasy. That's for adults. Mystic Hills, I would say, is for a 13-plus audience. It's for fucking teenagers. It's for kids. And of course, Remembrance, as I've stated before, is an adaptation of those original ideas. I'm still making it another dark fantasy because it's a better genre than whatever the fucking bullshit we were writing about before. We were going to start diving into darker topics anyway, in terms of the story. And she just didn't follow through. And I wish she would just mean what she says and just give up on it and be done with it. If she's so traumatized by the situation, if she doesn't want to deal with it as much as she claims she has, why is she continuing to try to make Mystic Hills? Why? If she's so detached from the situation and she doesn't want to be bothered with it anymore, why does she keep pursuing to remake Mystic Hills over and over and over and over again? This is her fourth time, by the way. This is her fourth time she's tried to bring back her Hallmark series and make it something that she can't do. She can't do it. And I'm not calling her stupid. I mean, yes, I am. I kind of am. I'm calling her incompetent, not stupid. It's not that she's dumb, she's just incompetent. And I've bit the bullet and watched the first episode of the reboot. It's not good. I just don't understand. I have her in full admission several times that Mystic Hills would never be what it is without me. And it's rang true every single time. I just. Here it is. I just realized my face is in the way. Right here. This was just for season 2, by the way. This was around the time when I'd made the plot twist document, and I workshopped it with her, and I worked everything out to continue Mystic Hills into season 2, through the rest of season 2 and into season 3. I gave the whole series a fucking direction to go into. I just. Those are things that I just can't look past. I can't look past that. And you can call me petty. You can call me too caught up in the past of what was. You can. You can do that, absolutely. And maybe I am. Maybe I am just too caught up in the things that should have been rather than how things are. But I just. I don't know. I'll never understand. I'm sure she could sit me down and try to explain it from top to bottom, and I still wouldn't understand why it was necessary to completely cut me out and throw me under the bus. Like, it didn't affect her connections with the Origins group. It didn't affect Yandere School. It didn't affect everything else that came after. That was her peak after Mystic Hills. I literally would have been relegated to a background role after Mystic Hills is over. And the worst part is, do you want to know what the worst part is? The worst part is if we'd stuck with Mystic Hills to the very end, at that point, it would have been nearly over. If she hadn't fucked around and actually buckled down and got work done on Mystic Hills. Instead of fucking around with all these other role plays at the same time. Her literal hallmark series for her channel, it literally built her channel, and she wouldn't take the time to fucking finish it. We were 8 episodes in after what? 10 months? And it took her another 3 or 4 to fucking slapdash a finale together because she didn't want to do the rest of the season. But then all of a sudden she wanted to make a revival series, a reboot series. And then she did that 3 times over the years. 3 separate fucking reboots. All failures. And now she's on a 4th, which is a remake. And it doesn't make any sense. None. It makes no sense. I don't know. This'll probably be a beef that I carry to my grave. I can't imagine a situation where I would ever forgive her. It's been almost 6 years, and nothing has been improved. If anything, things are even worse now than they were then. Because even at my absolute worst, get this, even at my absolute worst, I tried to negotiate with her with Mystic Hills Origins. I tried to be amicable. And it still didn't work out. And that was when I was at my worst. And then all through 2022, what was it? Not 2022. In late 2021, she reconnected with me and tried to apologize. And we spent nearly an entire year amicable and on friendly terms. And it was issues falling out with her that caused her to cut me off. And I showcased this in the last video. But that's literally what our last conversation in DMs was. That's it. Was she explained everything about the Ish situation. I forgot that my face is in the way again. This is who she is. She used her situation with Ish to cut me off again. For no other reason than that she was being petty and that she was upset. Even when I gave my absolutely most level-headed take of I'm not surprised. I didn't throw my opinion in there. I didn't insert myself into the situation. I just said I can't say I'm surprised and moved on. But she used it as an opportunity to try and lay more blame onto me again, as if it was still my fault, even after I'd continuously apologized for how I had acted after our falling out. And still, she wouldn't let it go. And yet I was supposed to be the one who forgave her. I don't know. Like I said, I will never be addressing this again. Number one, because I'm done with it. My positions are extremely clear. Fuck her. I don't care anymore. I don't care what she does. I don't care what she's going through. I don't care. I wish her success. I wish her to become better and go back to making better content again. I do. I wish that for her. But I never want to associate with her ever again. It'll never happen. And like I said, feel free to go interact with her, be associated with her, work with her. I'm not going to condemn you for that. The problems between Mania and myself are just that. Between Mania and myself. And it shouldn't have gone any further than that. We are equally to blame for it spilling out into her community and into everything else. But the difference between us is that I've already taken full responsibility for my part in letting these things spill out. It never should have spilled out from between me and her. It never should have become a community spectacle. It never should have become a pissing contest. And those are things I own up to. Those are things that I take responsibility for because I was partially to blame. But for her part, she's claimed no responsibility. She's attempted to apologize, but then immediately goes back into her original antagonistic behavior towards me because personally, I think she has a permanent grudge. And like I said, I hate her. I hate her. I hate who she's become. I hate the fact she betrayed me. I hate how much she hurt me. I hate how much she weaponized against me. I hate how easily it was for her to wound me so deeply. I hate her. But again, even besides that, I still want her to succeed and grow and be better. Maybe someday she will, maybe someday she won't. But to ever live in a reality where all of her hardships, all of her problems are not the consequences of her actions is a delusion. The whole reason we had a falling out in the first place was because of her. The whole reason we never made amends was because of her. Now, was I completely innocent in the situation? Again, no. I fucked up. I fumbled. My whole reaction to the entire situation was piss poor. But that doesn't exonerate her. It doesn't give her the excuse to have a stick up her ass about it all the way till today. Nor, for that matter, does that matter for me. Like, I don't know what I was trying to say there. It doesn't give her the excuse to have a stick up her ass about it all this time and to make me a banned topic in her server and to lambast or blacklist people who are associated with me or who talk to me, which I don't know. I don't know how truthful Paul is. I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt of that he is sort of being unjustly excluded, despite how much he wants to help her, how much he wants to stay friends with her. It wouldn't surprise me if he's being purposefully excluded because he talks to me. And if that's the case, Paul, I'm sorry. Like, but that's just who she is. And there's nothing you or I could ever do anything about it. There's nothing I can do about it. That's for damn sure. I gave it my best. For 6 years, I gave it my best. And it was never good enough for her. Even before our falling out, it was never good enough for her. And at some point, she just decided to throw me out like trash. Anyway, I need to get back to work on some things. I still have lots of stuff to do. I have writing to do. I haven't done any writing today. I need to get to that. My next video will be the Darksiders 2 video. And it will be my final gaming video for this channel. And I will be making a goodbye vlog after. This is the end. Like, this is the end. I no longer have it in me anymore to keep making content, to keep fighting, to keep rehashing the same drama that people won't ever leave alone. Because I don't want to hear any of this of she doesn't even think about it anymore. Yes, she does. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't be continuing to make Mystic Hills. Now, am I narcissistic enough to think that her making more Mystic Hills is to spite me? No. I don't think that's it at all. I think it's her own ego that's getting in the way of her letting go of Mystic Hills. Can I entirely blame her on that? No. Can I blame her for having the inability to make it happen? Yes. Because she's incompetent. As a writer, as a content creator, and as a person, she's completely incompetent. Maliciousness aside, she's completely incompetent. Anyway, I'm finished. I'm done. I'm done with my rant, my ramble, whatever this is. I should put this out here at the very end. I should also clarify it at the beginning of the video. I'm going to put a point at the start of the video that specifically says, I don't condone any harassment or any confrontations on my behalf. If I wanted to have a confrontation with her, I would have done it already. I have the means. I know exactly how to contact her. I know exactly how to get her attention if I want to. I just don't want to. Now, whether she would respond or not, that's up in the air. Even if she didn't, I would have made my point. I'm moving on and moving to bigger and better things outside of YouTube because I'm done with it. I don't have the energy to do it anymore. And once again, it always comes back down to her. I read those DMs and I realized it's over. Like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And that's just my reality. Do I think I'll be gone forever? No clue. No idea. Hasn't even crossed my mind. But I do know I'd rather be doing other things and focusing my energy towards other stuff. Like my books. My books are excessively important to me. They are the single greatest passion that I have right now. And remembrance is important to me for a whole other reason, and that's closure. It's going to put a bookend to everything. Because once I'm done with remembrance, number one, it's going to be a free use piece of work. It's going to have my name on it. It's going to have her name on it because it's adapted from the original ideas from both of us. But once it's done, it's free use. Take it, use it, do whatever you want with it. I don't care. Because those were the original ideas from the original roleplay that we made together. And after that, I never want to think about it again. I want to move on to my books because my books are a completely different story with completely different characters and completely different plot lines. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm only going to get to say that a couple more times. Because I don't know if it's going to be within the next month or 2 months at the end of the year. But I will be retiring this channel. And I'll probably be marking it as an archive after I'm done.